As a gig worker, your biggest expense is going to be how much you pay in gas, which is why a lot of gig workers, like myself included, drive things like Priuses or things that get really good gas mileage. But is it possible to be able to make enough money if you're driving something that gets a lot less miles a gallon and is a true gas guzzler? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Tyler from the RideShare Guy. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about whether you can make money if you don't have the most fuel efficient vehicle out there or if it's a true gas guzzler. So these are things that are going to typically think of SUVs or trucks, things that you don't typically think of with someone who is out there doing delivery driving. That being said, I have seen places like pizza chains that have that delivery thing on the top of their vehicle and people out there making money. So is it possible for us as gig workers to be able to use that same type of vehicle and to make a livable wage? The short answer is yes, but you're obviously not going to be able to drive the same way that I do driving with a Prius. You're going to have to change the exact way that you do. Number one is that you need to figure out what your cost per mile is. So for me, I've talked on the channel before and on the website that my cost per mile is around 65 cents per mile, which means that for every mile I'm driving, I have to make more than that in order to cover the cost of the vehicle that I'm driving, the cost of the fuel and all that. So you need to figure out what your cost per mile is. So this isn't simply how much miles per gallon you're getting. That's a large contributor to it, but how much you're paying in insurance, how much the car is depreciating, how much you need to put aside to get a new vehicle that matches the vehicle that you have. All of these things go into figuring out what your cost per mile is. Now, once you have that number, especially with these larger vehicles that are gas guzzlers, it's now going to mean that your cost per mile is going to be more like $1, $1.50, maybe even $2 per mile. So with that information, you could absolutely drive like everybody else does and simply decline all of the requests that come in that don't meet the $2 per mile minimum or whatever your minimum is and that little buffer to actually make money from it. So that is something you absolutely could do as a person that has a gas guzzler for a vehicle. But there are a lot better ways that you could make more money with it that us people that have Priuses or smaller vehicles don't have the option for. One of my biggest money makers right now, even driving my small vehicle, is catering orders. Now, I get a lot of catering orders that are between $150 to up to about $800, and I've seen all the way up to about $850 of a catering order, which is a lot of food. It takes up a lot of space in my little car. Now, that being the case, these catering orders have made 70 to 90% of my weekly income just off of these. So they're making me a ton of money. Even still, I have to turn down a lot of these catering orders because my vehicle simply can't contain them. I know that I'm going to have difficulty getting everything in and out of my car. I won't be able to transport it correctly because the way the car is designed, everything's not going to be able to lay flat. So I decline larger orders, which means I'm declining some orders that are going to make me more money because I know I don't have enough room in my car. If you have a larger vehicle, that is no longer a problem. And these catering orders can take up to an hour, but usually they take about 30 minutes. I had one the other day that from leaving my house to dropping the food off and pulling out took 26 minutes and made me $40. That was in my little tiny car. If you have a larger vehicle, you're going to get the orders like I got the other day that ended up being split between two drivers that made me $100 in just 1 hour. So I was able to use just half of what I would get. So that means if you had a larger vehicle and you got there and was able to take the entire amount, you would make $200 in the same amount of time. So having a larger vehicle with catering orders can really help you make a lot more money than you would with a smaller vehicle. So you're able to make enough money to offset the amount that that gas guzzler is going to take up in gas. Another thing that having a larger vehicle allows you to do that smaller vehicles cannot is to sign up for other services that we don't even have access to. So things like Bellhop that allows you to help people move. You could use your own truck, or other services that you can sign up for, something like Curry, where you sign up to help move construction material. I have had that in the past when I had an SUV, and I would sometimes get orders of I would sometimes see orders of a couple $100 to move things. Now it wasn't consistent then. I haven't been on for quite some time to see because I don't have that SUV anymore, but it was a lot of money in a very short amount of time that people with smaller vehicles just don't have access to. So signing up for other things that allow you to make money, whereas other people can't, can absolutely make it worth it to have those larger vehicles that cost more to run. Some other things that you can look into is non-emergent medical transport. So think of people that need to get from point A to point B that is medical. So they've got to go to the doctor instead of just going to the grocery store or whatever else they're doing with regular gig apps. They need to get to their doctor's office. They need to get to a surgery, whatever. And it's not emergent. So they don't need to take an ambulance to get there. With larger vehicles, it allows you to be able to sign up for those and allows you to make money doing that. Another thing that you could do is sign up for Instacart or other grocery delivery apps and use those, because those, though they take a little bit more time because you're doing the actual shopping, going in and delivering it is actually a very low cost per mile. I've gotten up to $3 or $4 per mile, even though it took me a little bit longer than, say, delivering Uber Eats. But I was able to make enough money off of it that it was worth it. So definitely something you can do with a larger vehicle. Something else that you have the option to do that smaller vehicles really can't is to start your own side hustle that doesn't involve a gig app. So think of things like scrap metal. You can pick up the scrap metal that's on the side of the road, take it to a local place that takes that and gives you cash money right then and there. Or if you are a little bit more crafty, have some tools, you could actually start picking up some of this furniture that's left on the side of the road, fix it up, and flip that furniture and sell it for some money. So those are some other things that you can do if you have a larger vehicle and maybe some tools and a little bit of skill, but there's a lot of videos out there that'll help you to do that anyway. So really starting your own business is something that you can't do, at least in that fashion, with a smaller vehicle like a Prius. And then finally, rent your vehicle out. If you're not using your vehicle on a daily basis, maybe it's not your everyday driver, maybe you have two vehicles in the family and one of them sits there the majority of the time, you can rent that out and make a lot more money renting the larger vehicle out, because people are going to need larger vehicles for things, and they pay more money for it. So renting out your vehicle is a great way to make extra money, and they have to pay for the gas. So you are not paying for the gas anymore. So it helps you save money and to make more money. Now, those are some of the ways that you can still make more money using your larger gas guzzling vehicle. But in addition to making more money, you always want to make sure that you're saving as much money as possible. So when it comes to your expense, no matter what you drive, the biggest expense is always going to be how much money you spend in gas, especially when you have a gas guzzler. So using an app like Upside that'll help you to save money and give you cash back on the gas that you're spending anyway is going to help you save a ton of money. Check out the link in the description that'll show you exactly how you can get to the Upside app, sign up for it, and get a little bit extra for signing up with our link and our code that'll help you to do that. So definitely check that out. It'll help you to save money on the money that you're spending anyway and get that cash back. So make sure that you're saving as much as possible on gas, and that includes also finding the cheapest gas in your area. So the Upside app will actually help you to do that, but you want to, as you're driving around, look around and see what the cheapest price is. Keep an eye on gas prices so that you know exactly when you want to make sure to get that gas. Another thing that you can do to save money is to make sure that maintenance is regularly done on your vehicle. That is the single most important thing to make sure that your vehicle doesn't break down, is to continue to maintain it. Don't wait until something breaks down for you to fix it. Make sure you're taking care of the maintenance, and save even more money. You can learn to do some of the basic maintenances yourself. So For instance, maybe changing the filters or small things like that, the brake pads, regularly cleaning the inside of the vehicle. All of that will help you to save and cut down on maintenance, which puts more money back in your pocket. And then finally, a way to ensure that you're going to make money is the Solo app, which is an app that allows you to see how much money you're going to make in a particular day and hour. You can sign up, and if you don't make enough on that time that matches that, then they make up the difference for you. So definitely something that you want to do to guarantee the amount of money that you're going to be able to make. So, is driving a gas guzzler possible to allow you to continue to make enough money to make it worth driving? The answer is it depends on how you drive. So we want to make sure that you use all of these tips and tricks and all of the others that we talk about in the videos on our channel that help you make as much money as possible in as little time as possible. So let us know in the comments below if you've used any of these before, these other apps, the catering orders, the non-emergent medical, or delivering construction or other stuff, helping people move, whatever it is, let us know. We'd love to hear about it. We read every single comment. Subscribe to the channel because there's more that come out every single week that help you make as much money as possible. If you found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up. It helps us out. And until next time, stay safe out there, everyone.